Namaste and Jai Siya Ram. In today's Leela, we take you to the scene of the Vanar army looking to cross the ocean to Lanka in search of Mother Sita. The army was full of many brave soldiers, and as they were all deciding who would be able to take this fleet and get to the other side and back, Hanumanji was sitting contemplating. Jambavan, looking around, knew that Hanumanji was the one for the job. He just had to be reminded. He went over to Lord Hanuman and said, "Let me remind you of a story of when you were younger." Now, many of you will have heard the story the other day of how Lord Hanuman tried to swallow the sun. And long story short, he ended up being given many different boons from the different gods, which meant that he was almost invincible. However, having a young, mischievous Hanumanji with so many different powers resulted in some trouble. And the sages, who were very unhappy with his actions, decided that he would be cursed so that he couldn't remember his powers until the time came when it was necessary to be reminded by someone else. Jambavan knew that this was the time to remind Lord Hanuman of his great ability and his superpowers, essentially. He told him the story of when he was a child, and it all came flooding back to Lord Hanuman. Without a second thought, Lord Hanuman surrendered to Lord Ram and took his name as he always does before any action, and took that giant leap. For me, this story reminds us all of when we surrender, take the Lord's name, and remember the ability within us. There's nothing that we can't achieve. Thank you and namaste.